The objective for this video is to show you how to handle exceptions in a JAX RS RESTful web service application. When you are building a JEE application with multiple layers like the business object layer or the DAO layer, exceptions can be thrown from any of these layers. We are not going to return the same exact exception that comes back from these layers back to the browser or back to another application which is consuming your RESTful web service. So JAX RS provides us with exception mappers which can convert the exception that comes from the lower layers to a HTTP status code. So we will use the different various HTTP status codes like bad request, not supported, etc. There are several other exceptions for each type of error code or a HTTP status code, and we are going to use them appropriately in our mapper. So a mapper converts a application exception into a HTTP response. So this response will contain a HTTP error, one of the HTTP error codes. We can also, instead of writing a mapper every time, we can simply throw a web application exception which is provided by JAX RS, and to the constructor of that you can pass a specific status code which can be any of not found, entity not found, etc., which are all the HTTP status codes again. I will show you in another presentation how to write a mapper for each exception type in our application. And JAX RS also provides various exceptions like bad request exception, not supported exception, etc., which you can directly throw, and the JAX RS container like Apache CXF or Jersey, they will take these exceptions and automatically use the status code like 400 to be serialized and sent back to the client. To summarize, we can convert the application level exceptions into a HTTP response or HTTP error response using exception mappers. We will be writing one separate mapper for each type of application exception we want to handle. We can also use the web application exception provided by JAX RS API, pass a status code to it and throw that exception, and the container will automatically use that response, whatever we set into it. It will call the get response method on web application exception, gets what is the error response, and then that response will be used to send the response back to the client. And there are different exceptions. These are just two examples. There are several other exceptions, the bad request exception, not supported exception, etc. for all the error codes starting from 400 all the way to 599. There is mapping for all the important exceptions. We can directly throw them and the container will use that to send an error response back to the client.